Hey, before we dive into week 6 picks and previews, I just wanted to make everyone aware and give my sincere prayers to everyone out in Graz, Austria. Obviously, with the tragic news that just happened, this week, it is unfortunate. It is something that should never happen. So just want to pray for the people in Graz and football's family.
Hey, week 6, we're going to find out who's real in Copenhagen.
We doing everything they talk about. You know I'm everything a boss about. Not putting work in.
Hey, week 6 is about to bring us some clarity on some teams, especially with the big game in Copenhagen that we think is the game of the week. Nordic versus the Frankfurt Galaxy Athletes Forum podcast. Thank you guys all for tuning in. We got another interesting slate coming up this weekend. As you can see here, just a 6-pack of games. We got a couple teams on bye, and we're heading to that point where bodies are starting to get banged up. Teams got to start separating, and you got to start winning these games, and start creating distance as we're heading into probably the second third of a 12-week season in the European League of Football. But yeah, we'll dive into it. I won't waste too much more of your time. That first game we're gonna dive into, we got the Panthers, Russell Panthers versus Cologne. Panthers looking for a bounce back. This is the perfect game for it. Obviously, you're playing a Cologne team that is not too good. I think we all know that. A Cologne team that is not good against the run. So what does that mean? Give David Brzozowski the ball. That's all it means. If David doesn't have at least 20 carries in this game, what are we doing? On the other side of that, not good. Cologne doesn't have a good pass defense as well, too. So this could be a good tender game. This could be a Darryl Stewart Jr. game for fantasy purposes. But Russell has to get back on track. Cologne looking to build off what they did last week and at least putting up 50 points against Frankfurt. We'll see how everything rolls. I'm rocking with the Panthers to win this game. The next one. Hey, they called me crazy when I picked Paris over the Surge. They called me crazy when I picked Frankfurt over Paris, and they called me crazy when I picked Paris over Fire. Now, this is going out on a limb here, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. And I'm talking about the Hamburg Sea Devils going to Rhein Fire, possibly getting an upset win. All right, Ryan Lossman coming out. Tom Sula is officially gone. Offensive coordinator, Coach Warner is gone. Mario Schultz will come in and run the offense. Coach Richard King gets his shot at being a head coach. All right, and I'm starting to wonder if it's a lot on Coach Kent's shoulders with calling a defense and having to manage the game from a head coach perspective. I don't know that for sure in terms of that, like that's his responsibilities, but you could see how some of that could come into play and take away from giving one side of the ball your full focus. We'll see how this pans out. Rhein Fire, another team looking to get back on track. Hamburg looking to build off what they did last week. I'll tell you what, Hamburg Sea Devils defense matches up great against that Rhein Fire offense that has no identity. On the other hand, I do struggle to see, and I am concerned if Hamburg's offensive line can handle that front seven of Fire that is fast, physical, and when they read, they react. Tagovailoa, like if he protects the ball and doesn't throw stupid interceptions like he did against that Berlin game, we might have something. We might have something here. And yes, I'm picking the Sea Devils for the upset. I'm going down on a limb here. I gave a good breakdown on the First Down Magazine show, which you guys could check out, but I'm picking Hamburg for the upset in this game. Next one. Can the Enthroners get their first win of the season? Can the Enthroners go to the capital of Germany, Alexanderplatz, and get their first win of the season in Berlin, right? These are, this could be a letdown game for Berlin if they overlook the Enthroners. They are still trying to find their way, all right? They're a team with some weapons on the outside now. Obviously, you got two ways at receiver for the Enthroners. But if I look too deep into this game, I just don't see Berlin giving in or playing down to their opponent, right? We saw what they did versus Cologne. I think this is going to be a similar outcome in this game. I think Jacob Sullivan is going to put up some good numbers, all right? I think defensively they're going to get back on track after giving up so many points to the Storm and giving up so many points to Hamburg. Jagball has to get this team back on track as a defensive coordinator. I think they do. I'm picking Berlin to win this game. All right. Game of the week, Frankfurt Galaxy versus the Nordic Storm. This is going to be a beautiful matchup as well. This is going to be a real true testament to the Nordic Storm. Frankfurt already had a true test when it came to Storm. not Storm, when they came to Paris, but also when they came to Storm. So they kind of been battle tested somewhat. Still a little inconsistent because you could get a 3-quarter game like they did versus Paris. You could get a high scoring game like they did versus Madrid, or you could get blown out versus the Surge. Or you could give up, almost 20 points to Cologne. So which Frankfurt team are you going to get? A, free Terry Wright. Free Terry Wright. I want to see Terry Wright get involved. Like, I think he has 8 catches on the season thus far. And granted, I know they're not going to force feed him into the game plan, but I would love to see Terry Wright get involved. How's Sandro Plaskemmer doing? Does he get a return back for this game? If not, Emma, I'm sure will talk to Rock. He did well versus Berlin last game. That defense, this is going to be interesting because the Nordic Storm will definitely test you downfield. And I'm sure, they'll put Shiante Battle on Brandon Bolu and they have Stribling over top every once in a while. You saw what that combination did versus Madrid with Stribling intercepted Reece Net while he was trying to force feed Krushenk on that one deep ball. So what does this look like? They're going up against Jadrian Clark, though. They're going up against the guy who owns the ELF in regards to, statistics and experience and a guy that has had the highest performance on the highest stage at all times, right? This is Jadrian Clark's lead until somebody dethrones him. No other quarterback in the ELF besides Jacob Sutherland has beat Jadrian Clark in the season. Jadrian Clark this year is putting up MVP-type numbers, 13 interceptions, 13 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, right? He's going to get tested because this is an athletic secondary, but I believe he's going to find his matchups. If brand new Bolu is neutralized, look for Simon Foms, look for Andrea Pateo Moreno get involved. I'm sure Alexander Kennedy Shannon will be there. Anton Whitmore is going to get involved. This is going to be a team that is deep and that has weapons, and I think Jadrian's going to use every last one of them. I'm picking the Nordic Storm to win this. When I look at the opposite side of the ball, I think they're a little undersized compared to, Frankfurt's offensive weapons. You think of Kevin Kaya, free Terry Wright, and Paul Leinhart. But we'll see. They're athletic. They, interchangeable. I like this Nordic Storm secondary. I like their linebackers. They're fast, physical. And I want to give a shout out to Max Parkinson, who is on a tear. Now he's going to get tested this week versus Steven Nielsen and Keanu Ebanks because Frankfurt has 2 of the top 3-5 left tackles in general in all the European League of football. Great game. I'm excited for it. It's a great matchup. But like I said, I'm rocking with the Nordic Storm to win this game. As we head down to the South, I believe, 2 games that are going to tell us a lot. Helvetic coming off a bye. How do you defend that, that monster of an offense that Munich has that almost came back and beat the Surge, right? Russell Tabor is showing a lot. Markel Castle is literally not Markel. I always get them confused. Malik Stanley is literally unguardable. Justin Rodney is looking to bounce back, especially in the run game. They're going up against a Helvetic defense that has struggled. But again, coming off a bye, we'll see what type of adjustments they made. This is a Helvetic team that, granted, record, it is what it is, but they are playing hard. And, this is a team that you're going to have to play 4 quarters, right? We saw that in the Madrid game. We won't dive too much into it, but I'm excited to see how this pans out. Won't dive too much into it. Munich, and I think Munich is the best team in that division. I think they take care of business at home as they return back to Munich against Helvetic. And then we got the Madrid versus Raiders game. I am picking the Raiders. Despite everything I said, again, I was reacting to a win against your rival or a rival. Despite everything I said, this game is always about matchups. And the Raiders, if they get back to what they do best, and that's running the ball and that's a physical brand of football, they'll beat Madrid. Madrid's going to score points, but the Raiders can limit possessions, right? If the Raiders can, score when they have the ball on offense, right? Because if you keep giving Madrid offensive opportunities, they're going to put up numbers, right? And do you have the defense to at least slow them down? Dijon Walls, hey, give that man some credit. He's been playing well, right? How does he match up against Krushenk? I don't think he's going to follow him the whole game. I think obviously they'll throw some zone and Krushenk's going to get his. But again, you have to limit offensive possessions for Madrid. Defensively, I don't like this matchup, Madrid's defense versus the Raiders offense. I'm just being frank. I think Benatti's going to get a ton of carries. I think Nkosi Perry is going to, have an impact in this game. When you think back to that Frankfurt game versus Madrid, McKay used his legs a lot. And that opened up the pass game as well, too. Also, when you think back to the Hamburg game, right? When they were trying to give a physical brand of football and run the ball, right? I think that's a little bit of both in terms of what the Raiders are going to try to do against Madrid. I think home game. I think Raiders bounce back here and they get a win versus Madrid. All right. Now, I'll say this. If Madrid wins, it's going to tell me a lot because, again, styles make fights. And I think I think Munich and the Raiders are not a good matchup for Madrid. But, hey, I could be wrong. We'll see how everything plays out. But I'm picking the Raiders to win this game against the Bravos. So, those are my picks. I got the Panthers. I got the Hamburg Sea Devils, right? And then I got all home teams. I got Berlin. I got Nordic. I got Munich, and I got the Raiders. Locker room. This one's for you. Drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Am I crazy for the Hamburg Fire upset, right? Is Madrid on upset alert? What's going to happen this Enthroners Berlin game? You guys let me know what you think.